Welcome back to the Grade 3, Unit 2, Interdependent Relationships in Ecosystems unit. This week we'll be looking a little bit more at some of the adaptations, but we're going to look at a different type of adaptation. So first of all, this week you're going to be doing more with the specific animal that you chose. Most of you already have a great start on your paper, or at least your literature review matrix, so you're going to be using that throughout the week. So this week you'll be able to describe how specific animals physically change to adapt to their surroundings for the purpose of survival. So last week we looked at physical adaptations. Now we'll be looking at what are called behavioral adaptations. And a lot of people in their writing last week have already mentioned some behavioral adaptations, but we need to at least know the difference, and that's one of the things that as a full group we definitely need to work on, because there are different types of adaptations. A reminder, physical adaptations are going to be what the animal looks like. So for example, you see a brown bear here. It blends in with the forest that it lives in due to its color. Or the large paws so that it can take down animals and eat food. Those are going to be physical adaptations. Behavioral adaptations are going to be how animals change the way they behave to benefit them. So a lot of times, many times, it has to do with how they take care of their young, or how they act around other animals or in certain situations. Those are going to be more behavioral. So this week, that's what you're going to be looking at. So what I want you to do is, this week you may have to search for some different YouTube videos, Discovery Education, make sure it's the Waukesha version, or Google, and use these sites to research the animal you chose last week. So you should already have a great handful of research, but this week I want you to go even further. And you're going to create a Google slideshow with the title of your animal. So for example, if you chose a brown bear, the name of your slideshow would be Brown Bear. In that slideshow, I want you to make sure you include 4 different pages. The first page is going to be a title page, so make sure that you include which animal you have. The second page is going to be pictures of some physical adaptations of that animal with pictures. So make sure that you know physical adaptations. The next page is going to be some behavioral adaptations, and I want you to include a video that either you make or you can find of some of those adaptations. So if it's YouTube, definitely put the link and possibly the whole video in. If it's something like Discovery Education, make sure you create it like I do, where you kind of give the directions to get there so that we can find it. And make sure on the 4th page that you have a bibliography, and you can do that using EasyBib. So again, behavioral adaptations are going to be how the animal acts that help it survive. Moving forward in your writing, you're going to be writing 2 of your sections. So this week is going to be really a bulk of the paper, and hopefully you can get this done, and you've done a lot of research, so you don't have to do much more research. The first is, in both of these sections, I want you obviously to use any research and your literature review matrix, but I want you to write your paragraph on your animal, or your couple paragraphs. And this should be about 12 to 15 sentences long. And the different things that I want you to include in this section of your paper are what your animal looks like with physical adaptations, where your animal lives, and be very general since your next section is going to be on the habitat itself, so where in the world it lives, not necessarily what type of forest or those types of things. And I want you then to include how your animal interacts with other animals and its environment. So that's going to be the behavioral adaptations. So this is where you can talk about how they treat their young, or how many young they have, but how they work together with other animals. The second section that you're going to be writing this week is going to be on the habitat your animal lives in. So this will be another 12 to 15 sentences long, and I want you to talk about what the habitat looks like and what are some of the other animals and plants in that habitat, which you should know from your presentation last week. Where is that habitat located? So again, this can be very general, or you can be much more specific. And the last section, or the last piece of it, is why is it important that your animal is part of the habitat? If they weren't a part of that habitat, what might the habitat lose? Another thing is, if they were taken out of that habitat or became extinct, how would the ecosystem itself change? So would it affect the life cycle of other animals? Would it affect the food cycle? So if we take a certain part of that out, whether that be the top, the middle, or the bottom of the food chain, how could that change? So think about all those things while you're writing your 12 to 15 sentences in that paragraph. Make sure that you're doing this on your document that you've already created. You've already created your sections, and you should put these under the proper sections, and I'll be giving you feedback.